Hey everybody, how we doing out there? It is Doc with Ready Set Crypto. Today is Wednesday, the 15th of March. Welcome aboard everybody. Thanks for checking in. When you come in, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button and let us know where you're coming in from today, which is always, it's always interesting to see where people are coming to our webinar from. And what I'd ultimately like to do is to see what coins that you guys want to talk about. I have a couple of things that I want to mention here, things that you need to be aware of, things that are happening out there in the financial space. And apart from that, I am here to serve you. So we'll be here together for about the next half hour or so, looking at the assets you want to look at. So come on in, make yourself comfortable, and we will we'll be working together for the next half hour or so. All right, so we got Cool Winder in central Pennsylvania. Welcome aboard. Good to see you. It's been a couple of weeks. I was interrupted last week, but probably next week I'll be back on again too, as well too. Welcome aboard, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Let us know where you're coming in from. Give us a thumbs up and make sure that you let me know what coins you'd like to see. Hey, Seb, how we doing? We will check out QANX and AGIX. I will absolutely do that. Kaz, I wish I knew the answer to that. He's traveling. All right, Florida attorney, greetings from Boca Raton. What about Algo? All right, what about Algo? All right, we got Buckhorn coming in from Little Rock, Arkansas. Little Rock, Arkansas. We used to live in Memphis for about 2 years, and so we'd get out to Little Rock from time to time. And I particularly remember there was an old steam railroad that was northwest of there. That was really cool. Math coming in from Seattle, Washington. All right, so I will check Cardano and Polkadot for you, Cool Winder. Carlisle, Pennsylvania. All right, I used to live in Lewistown for a while, which is not too far from Carlisle. CFX on KuCoin. Will do, will do. All right, let me get things started here. Welcome aboard, everybody. Good to see you, everybody out there. There's a hell of a lot going on in the financial space here. We'll try to unpack it. So what we've seen lately, if I look at, I'm just going to look at indices here for a second. If I look at the banking index, the BKX, so this is the NASDAQ Bank Index, it's getting drilled. It's getting absolutely drilled. Why? It's because the Fed kept raising and raising and raising, and all of a sudden we've hit a pain point where banks all of a sudden can't make money, right? And so what the problem is like, they can make money as long as people don't pull deposits out. And if there's a run on banks, that creates a huge problem. Remember, in most of every country I can think of, we have what's called fractional reserve banking system. Fractional reserve means that just like the old, Jimmy Stewart movies, like It's a Wonderful Life, you just can't march down to your bank and say, hey, I want to draw all of my money out of the bank, especially if it's above $10,000. They just don't carry that amount of cash. So it's like a shell game. It's constantly moving around and it's being leveraged up to 10 times while your money is in the bank. So how do you think that those guys are making their bonuses all the time? They're making money on top of your money, which is something that you should be doing, right? You should be your own bank. So the banking index is getting drilled. So finally, for the first time since I've been involved with cryptocurrency, which is around 2016, we're starting to see the narrative play out where, yeah, you can be your own bank. And this is where, Bitcoin has been going opposite to that, because that is, in effect, this solves all the problems that we're seeing out there. Let's see. So that's what's going on with BTC. Now, we're also starting to see some other things, some other stress that's happening with, say, like bonds and things like that. Right? So as the Fed keeps raising rates, we've seen like the 2-year note continue going higher and higher in yield. And now all of a sudden we're starting to see it crack. And so as we see this crack, what this means is this is the bond market saying, hey, going forward, I don't think we'll be able to pay out as much on a note as before. And that's going to happen if things get really, really soft, right? Does that make sense? So you can look at this as sort of the bond market's direction of the strength of the economy, and all of a sudden we're starting to see cracks and everything like. So you're going to see things change week to week to week. I mean, this is the narrative this week. Next week it may be completely different because these things tend to do almost like an avalanche. It just knocks over. It's like a series of dominoes. It just sort of starts to knock one over and then the other, then the other and the other. This is the same thing that we saw in the Great Financial Crisis. This is the same thing that we saw back in 2000 to 2002 with the tech bubble bursting. And then, it's just a series of bubbles that get burst as they roll downhill. And so this one's been a long time coming. And we've seen this happening because of the Fed has the Fed got embarrassed last year because they were like, whoa, transitory inflation, transitory. And all of a sudden the inflation was like, hey, it's real. And it's like, no shit, Sherlock, we've been telling you that things are more expensive for the past few years, right? So it's like, where are these guys living at? No, it's transitory inflation. No, it's not. And so finally they got with a program and they said, well, all right, if that's the way you guys are going to play it, we're just going to put the blinders on and keep on raising rates. Well, they kept on doing it until they broke something. And they broke something. They're breaking banks right now, which is a bad thing. So, okay, that's enough of that stuff. Let's start looking at Bitcoin and your other cryptocurrencies. Now, what I'm seeing here, guys, and this is interesting because normally when I see something like this, this is a megaphone pattern. This is broadening pattern. And broadening pattern is typically a bearish pattern, but it's a bearish pattern at the top of a move. And this is a move that's just getting started. So what I'm finding is a megaphone pattern actually can be a bullish pattern right now. So keep that in mind. Now we're going to see lots of signals coming in. And, unless you're willing, this is what I keep saying. This is a trader's market. This is a trader's market. Get in here, sell into strength. Get in here, sell into strength. Wait for the next move back down. Or wait to see if this consolidates. If this consolidates, that's super bullish, and then wait for the breakout from here. That will be a great time to get in. Okay, so don't just chase after everything. Don't dogpile after stuff because it doesn't work. Don't chase after moves like that, like a dog chasing after a car. Okay, so that's BTC. I could go through the rest of these, but they're all going to look the same. So today we're seeing some things get drilled pretty hard. Now, some of these assets are better than others. The top two are far better than just about everything else out there. So wait for things to sort of settle down. Filecoin's getting destroyed. This is a lower high, right? So don't chase after stuff. Don't chase after stuff. Look for entry points. Hit your entry points, whether or not you're a pullback trader or whether you're a breakout trader. But we're still in a trader's market. We're not yet in an investor's market where you can just throw money into it and chase after it, right? We're not there yet. We might get there soon enough. So with that, I'm going to move over to your requests. So this is what I'm here for today. I'm going to take any requests that you guys have. And the first one that came in was QANX. QANX versus US dollar. And do I have that? Do I have this? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Okay, so this one's getting drilled pretty hard today. If this is the right coin, I think we've looked at QANX before, but this is getting absolutely destroyed today. And I'm not sure if that is the right one. Yeah, it is. So I don't know what the news is on this. The volume's way up today. No, wait a minute. This is October 11th. This one's dead. There's got to be a different coin that you're looking at. Yeah, this one stopped trade. This one stopped on Gate.io, and I don't have any other way to chart this one. Let me try again here. QANX. Everything else is wrapped in ether. Let's try the one that's wrapped in ether. Well, no, that's no better. I'm sorry. I'll come back to this one later on if that's still of interest. Let's go over to AGIX. Nothing worse than watching somebody fumble. All right. Okay, let's see what's going on with AGIX. Let me see if I can find a better chart for this one. It's not been around for very long, and that may be just the deal on this one. Let's try. Okay, that's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. Okay, so this one has been in play for a while, and what we're seeing is we're seeing a nice breakout consolidation, breakout longer term consolidation. So if we look at the weekly chart, this one's going to make more sense to us. This is a weekly consolidation, building up energy. If we go over to the RSI Laguerre, we're seeing that it's in exhaustion, building up energy. So this one's probably another 2-3 weeks away from being ready to break again. So I like that. That's a nice looking chart. What about Algo? Let's see, Algorand. Let's try Algorand. What's got what happened? Algorand has not been very good lately. Algorand has not been good lately. It's below the 200-day moving average in green, so therefore it's on my avoid list for right now. It should be on your avoid list unless you're already long and did not have any kind of a stop with this one. So this one still has got some growing up to do, Algorand. Oh, let's see what's next here. What do we got? Cool Winder wants to look at Cardano. Let's look at Cardano. It's also below the 200-day moving average, so that means it's on a void for right now. The other one is, I believe, Polkadot was your other one. And that's just getting above. A lot of these look really the same. You're seeing the same kind of things that we saw a nice little rally into early 2023. And that's when we saw rates starting to go down, right? So we saw, forward rates. We thought that the Fed was done with the hiking cycle. And then we got nasty, nasty reports recently. But the Fed may be done here pretty soon. And so this is why we're seeing some of the leading cryptocurrencies running, because the Fed may be done with the hike cycle. Okay, so that's Polkadot. It's right at the 200. There's probably better assets that are out there that are much stronger at this point. CFX. Let's try CFX on. There we go. That's a nice looking chart. Boy, that bounced off the 50, didn't it? So this is Conflux. And that's kind of the same thing that we saw with AGIX. This is almost exactly the same kind of chart pattern. So to me, this is more of a weekly consolidation. This one it's fairly new, but I would let this play out. I wouldn't chase after this one until it finished the consolidation and then look for the breakout from there. So that's a nice looking chart. Oh, let's see. Robert Zval, can we look at HEX versus BTC? We can try. Let's see, HEX, BTC. Let's see, are you out there? Let me just try typing in HEX BTC. If they don't have a pair, I can't check it. So we're going to have to do it versus Tether, if you don't mind. Hex Tether. All right, so this is the weekly chart. Here's the daily chart. The daily chart's starting to get somewhere. So after all the weeks that we have been trashing on Hex mercilessly, Hex is actually starting to get somewhere now. And this is a nice looking pattern. This is a nice sharp pullback. This is where pullback strategies like the RSI Laguerre will show us a nice signal here, although this one was even too quick for the RSI Laguerre to pick up on. But this is a nice looking pattern. I like how the character just changed. The volume is not really there, but at least it's consistent for right now. So Hex is maybe back in play once upon a time. Okay. All right, Robert from California. How can I be the man if you're the man? All right. Let's see. Welcome for you folks that are just stumbling into the room. Welcome aboard. Hit the thumbs up button if you could. And let me know what coins you want to look at. Let us know where you're coming in from, too. It's always a curiosity of mine to see people from around the world tuning in. All right. So, Tripitaka. We're going to look at Mask. Mask versus Tether. Okay, so something changed here in November with Mask. And I don't know if this is an inverse to FTX trade or something like that. I don't know what is the driver behind this, but obviously something changed in the character here because we've started to see where there was no volume before. As of early November, this thing has picked up some volume. Now, this is setting up a base right now. This is setting up a big base that's below $5. So this is setting up really nice. Let's look at this on the weekly chart. You can see on the weekly chart, right? This is, I mean, it's still a nasty downtrend. And so you don't want to just jump on this thing just because it's starting to wake up down here. This could just be another lower high and it rolls over. So force it to break above 5, I would say. Breaking above 5 would be a good signal on good volume. So 450 to 5, if it's able to break above there, it's almost an ascending triangle. Almost an ascending triangle. Okay, who else has got something? Otherwise, let's see. I will say we've had some really interesting coins as of late. Some of these have been really good, like OKB has been really, really super for a long period of time, you know, like through December, even back to November after the FTX contagion, this thing has been ripping. So this is one of the stronger ones, but there's only so far it's going to go. In fact, if we go out to the monthly chart, we can start to see that this one was in exhaustion on the monthly chart. So it may need a few months actually to work off this move as it's gone from 12 up to 56. So this is one of the stronger ones that we've looked at. So don't neglect that. But for right now, we may be consolidating in a range from about 36 up to 56. So it's going to be choppy at best on OKB for right now. Okay. Price charts don't go forever. All right. Seb is, let's see, Cool Winder, QNT. So we'll look at QNT. That's one that we've been looking at recently as well, too. QNT on the daily chart was doing great for a while, but now is underneath the 200 and is on the avoid list. In fact, it got rejected at the 200 moving average today. So I would say we're going to be on avoid on QNT until further notice, until it's able to grow up and get somewhere. VEMP. Let's see what this is. Vampire Gamer Token. And there's a reason I haven't heard of this one before. So this one is your typical, valueless. At least that's what the market is saying. I mean, look at this. Look at this weekly chart. And this is not to make, I'm not trying to poke fun at anybody or anything like that, but this is the market taking a read on this thing. At some point, way back here in November of 21, this thing was up to 64 cents, 65 cents. And now it is at 1.9 cents. And this is what will happen if you don't have a business model. Now, the volume continues to go higher on this one. So there may be something behind it. There's obviously people are starting to pay attention to this, and there's a lot more volume in this. But as long as it's below the 200, just avoid it. Wait for a close above 200 and let it base out for today. Okay, so that's V Empire Gaming. All right, Seb, let's see what else you got. What you got there? RVF. So all I have is, this is Rocket Vault. Rocket Vault on Wrapped Ether. Okay, so it's above the 200, but barely clinging on. Barely clinging on. It's got to be breaking out above this level here fairly soon, or this one is a no bueno. Okay. All right. Does anybody else have anything else out there? Anybody else have anything else or any other questions? Anything like that? Okay, cool. Under ILV. We'll take ILV versus Tether. Okay, this one has got some potential. This is what we call a bull flag. A bull flag comes up when you have the flagpole, and then you can think of this as a flag pattern, which is a slightly descending channel. Now, this is not just a daily bull flag. This is a weekly bull flag. So this is a huge move that went from 40 up to 10, whatever it is, 106 or something like that. And so this is what we're going to see, is we're going to see a weekly bull flag here. Now, this needs to get somewhere because this one has been, this has been a terrible chart for a long period of time. So the context on this one, I mean, look at this. We've gone from $2,000 down to, what is it trading for now? 65, something like that. So it's been brutal, right? So hopefully you didn't chase this one back here. But if you did, you wouldn't be the first, nor the last to chase after something, right? So this is why I always say rule number one of risk management is to define your stop before you enter the trade. Don't try to figure it out afterwards, because all of a sudden you get those human emotions come in. Like, I don't want to book a loss. That would be terrible. Okay, good. Glad you didn't chase. So right now, I mean, it's starting to get somewhere if we like zoom in on this. And if we look at this and say, oh, it's a bull flag. But, keep in mind the greater perspective of what's going on here. This thing has been in a terrible downtrend for a long time, and it takes a lot of market presence to flip one of those things around. Okay, Andy, H-bar, let's see, what's this, like Hedera hash graph or something like that. Okay, so this one was real strong back in the first month of the year, and then since that point, as we've been seeing rates rise, this one's been quite honestly sucking wind. Now we can put some fibs on here and see if this is holding. And it's just barely holding the 61.8% retracement. So the way you want to use fibs is from the bottom to the top of a move. You're normally going to see some type of reaction at 38.2, 50%, or as deep as 61.8, right? So no reaction there, no reaction there. And we're trying to have a reaction at the 61.8. Now, this represents the last line of defense for the bulls. If this breaks through there, then typically what you will see is it will fill in the entire triangle. It'll go all the way back. So if it's going to bounce, it's going to bounce here. And so I would wait until it gets above that level before I would make an entry in that one. Okay, so that's H-bar. And then I think the last one that we'll do here today, is LQTY. And I'm sure it stands for something, but I have no idea what it is. Liquidity, maybe? Okay, this one's not been around for very long. This is a newbie. It's the FNG of coins, if you guys know what that means. So not much to be able to pull out of it's obviously it broke out, consolidated for a couple of weeks, and is now breaking above 2.4 up to this area here. So it's working, and we're getting volume on it. This is coming in through Binance, so that's good that it's on Binance. But not much to say right now other than, it's making higher highs and higher lows. And in time, maybe we'll have, something that we can actually chart with this thing. Okay. Well, good. JJ, not here to disagree with you. Loss of trust of the stable coins. I think it's loss of trust of the overall TradFi banking system. The fractional reserve banking system is broken right now. And that's why I think we're seeing, especially Bitcoin and Ethereum go up, because it's like everything, all that promise that Bitcoin had over these years, like, oh, Bitcoin's a inflation hedge. No, it's not. Bitcoin is, it's been tagged with this and that and everything else like that. But now, for the very first time, I have seen is it's become a hedge to the traditional finance. Like, wow, like it actually works. People are looking at this and saying, what else do I do with my money? Unless I want to just put it into JP Morgan and earn 1%, I can go into Bitcoin. So maybe now, maybe it's ready for the mantle. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. That's it for Wednesday. We've been here for 27 minutes. I think we're through for today. So hang in there. I'm glad you guys are checking out. And one thing I do want to remind you guys of is our new platform at ReadySetCrypto.ONE. So if you go to ReadySetCrypto.ONE, this is our new platform. You can check this out for a whole week if you want to. We got newsletters every day. We got trading courses that are in there, and we got signals. We got signals coming in every day just about lately. So trend trading signals, RSI Laguerre signals, more coming down the road. So if you're curious about having somebody else like figure out one to buy and sell for you, there you go. So that's ReadySetCrypto.ONE. You can have 1 week of free trial. Please check it out. And that is it for today. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for checking it out, and we will see you next week. Cheerio.